Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I want to talk about the Chest of Fortune and why I think the Chest of Fortune needs to be retired, and I'll explain what I actually mean by that. So the Chest of Fortune is something that was pretty interesting. It was added back in Season 9 of Sea of Thieves, and it was really the big piece of content of that update, which kind of disappointing. It's just a piece of treasure, but basically since Season 9, they've moved the Chest of Fortune to different activities in the game every season. So say with Season 13, when the Burning Blade got introduced, the Chest of Fortune was there. There's been a couple of seasons where it's been at the Fort of the Dam, which in some ways is problematic because people can just stack the Fort of the Dam, so people were kind of completing the Chest of Fortune combinations a lot faster if they were someone that was on an alliance server or they were stacking or wherever the case may be. And just, it's been moved to other places, but the main place it was meant for is the Fort of Fortune. Now, this has been going on for the last 6 seasons or last several years just because of a lot of the delays. It doesn't seem like that long if you're just going off the season numbers, but because of all the delays, that was actually several years ago. It's quite a long time from now since that Chest of Fortune was introduced. And since then, there have been 7 grades added with the release of Season 15. And to get to grade 7, it requires players to sell 210 Chest of Fortunes. Now, this is a huge task to get to. And I think that's fine. I think having long-term goals, and I kind of like that, there's lots of cosmetics for this set, so you continuously unlock cosmetics over time from selling this. I have no problems with that, and I really like the concept of the Chest of Fortune. However, what I would like to see is we retire the Chest of Fortune, we're done with the grades, maybe we do one more grade just to kind of even it out at grade 8, maybe make it 250 Chest of Fortunes that need to be sold and have like a couple more cosmetics to go with it, but then keep the Chest of Fortune at the Fort of Fortune. I mean, it's just in the name there. It basically makes sense. I never really understood why the Chest of Fortune was meant to go other places. I think having the Chest of Fortune be something that was very valuable, locked to the Fort of Fortune, which is one of the few activities you can't go to on demand. It's one of the only activities outside of the Fort of the Dam that you can't dive to. And unlike the Fort of the Dam, you can't activate it whenever you want. So if you see the Fort of Fortune active, you have to go and do it if you want to get this unlocked. Which I think was great in terms of PvP, because all the other world events that they put it at, other than the Burning Blade, you could just dive to them and be able to unlock these pretty easily. And I also think having unique loot at the Fort of Fortune and just unique loot at all these different world events is a good thing for the game, and it makes different activities more interesting because it kind of draws you to them. But I do like the concept of having like a special chest that moves around with the different season updates and kind of encourages you to do different things. So what I'm proposing with this video is let's make a new type of Chest of Fortune-esque chest that is highly valuable, has lots of cosmetics that go along with it. We keep adding the grades like we currently have, and we basically start from scratch. I think 210, maybe if we boost it up to another grade, like I was saying, 250 Chest of Fortunes to sell, that's a good place to stop. If we keep going at this rate, most players are not going to be able to unlock all these cosmetics. But if we start from scratch with a new chest, the people that haven't caught up with the Chest of Fortune grades each season can now maybe have a chance to catch up with this new one, and they can still work to that Chest of Fortune one in the past. And the people that have been consistent, have been getting all these Chest of Fortunes each season, all 210 of them, they'll basically be able to continue where they were, just with a new type of chest. Maybe it could be something like interesting like Chest of Dark Secrets, or I don't know, anything like that, just something other than Chest of Fortune, and that it could continue to move around to different world events or different activities in the game. The only thing that I would suggest is no longer doing it at the Fort of the Dam, because since that can be stacked and people can just keep replaying that over and over again, it's not great for something like this where you want to keep that value high. Some people might get mad at me because there are people that stack the Fort of the Dam and they just want to be able to quickly complete these combinations, but I think there's some value in having kind of a slower progression for certain things and keeping the value of some of these treasures very high so that when you see them in the world, you are really dying to get them. That's how the Chest of Legends used to be in the past. When the Chest of Fortune was first introduced, that's how it was. Then it went to the Fort of the Dam. I don't think people really care about the Chest of Fortune that much anymore. If we get a new type of chest like this that can spawn at randomly occurring world events or other activities, then I think that's great. And I think we can start with a clean slate, and then, once that, after a few seasons, after a few years, gets to, 200, 250, whatever that chest is called, sold, and you have like 7 or 8 grades that have been completed for that, we can make a new type of chest, and that one can be retired to something else. Maybe we move that to the Fort of the Dam at that point, or maybe it stays to something else that's added to the game. And then we just keep doing this. And I think that would eventually just make it so that you have more types of treasure in the game, which is cool, lots of cosmetics to unlock, and not feel so grindy. I think a lot of players, when they look at the Chest of Fortune cosmetics that are added each season, if you haven't been keeping up with them, they just look overwhelming and, you just don't even wanna try to go for them. I know myself personally, like, I really wanted the Chest of Fortune Disguise that came out in Season 14, and that required you to get, I think, maybe grade 4 or something. It wasn't, like, the max grade, but it was, like, grade 4, maybe grade 3. I'd have to check it again to look. But I looked at that and I'm like, "There's no way I'm getting to that, at least not anytime soon," so I just didn't even care to try. And I think that's how a lot of players feel when they see these Chest of Fortune cosmetics that come out, like with Season 15, where we had all these Royal Fortune cosmetics that came out for it. I'd be interested to hear what y'all think in the comments below about the Chest of Fortune, if you want to see it retired and maybe get replaced with a new type of chest that basically does the same thing, and just we keep the Chest of Fortune to the Fort of Fortune and move on to a new set of cosmetics. I will also say, though, that with the Chest of Fortune stuff, we have these Reaper chests that have also been kind of going along with this, where each season they get new grades for selling them and that kind of stuff. Partially is annoying because I've been selling tons of Reaper chests before these were ever introduced, so like I wish those were kind of backfilled in, so I already had some of the grades filled out. But regardless, I'd probably just keep those how they are. Don't really need to change the Reaper chests. I think the Reaper chests are a little bit different than like a Chest of Fortune. It has the beacon on it. It's kind of been a staple of the game. So I don't really see a reason to stop those cosmetics or change that system. I'm really only focusing on the Chest of Fortune, retiring that to the Fort of Fortune, and then coming out with a new chest that can move around and have new grades and cosmetics that go with it. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this idea? Do you want to see the Chest of Fortune retired, or do you like keeping it going along and having kind of more of a grind that's, continues on maybe to 500 Chest of Fortune sold, or maybe 1,000, however long they keep going with it? I'd love to hear your all's thoughts in the comments below about this topic, but that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.